This speech is my recital. I think it's very vital.
Hey guys and gals, listen. We left off video 1. We saw what started it. Video 2, we saw the pioneers of it and the
The
instruments
history of
used,
hip hop,
and we
the
watched them
game
evolve from the
changes.
DJing to creating things that can actually mix beats. Now we're going to look at the guys that we know, which is that's Run DMC. If you don't know who it is, you're just too young. That's Run DMC, okay? All right, so we're now looking at the golden age of hip hop. During the mid-1980s and early 1990s, hip-hop spread across the country in full force. It brought an era that significantly transformed hip-hop culture. The new era became known as the golden age of hip-hop. Many characterize this turning point by its explosion of diversity, influence, stylistic innovation, and mainstream success. Record labels recognized the genre as an emerging trend and invested a lot of money into the movement. So basically, just like with anything that the African American culture does, once it's been accepted by mainstream, then people want to get in and add their money in, take everything, recreate it, and switch it around. You already know how it is, but let's keep going, guys. Record labels recognized the genre as an emerging trend and invested a lot of money into the movement. Independent record labels like Tommy Boy, Prison Records, and Def Jam became successful. They were releasing records at a fast pace in response to the demand generated by local radio stations and club DJs. New scenes and different styles of hip hop also from the city to city as the culture popularized. However, hip hop music was still mostly experimental. Although the new generation of hip-hop producers had access to more advanced drum machines and samples that allowed them to take hip-hop music to the next level. One of the definitive characteristics of hip-hop golden age was the heavy use of sampled music. Now, they still sampling today now, okay? No copyright laws protected music from being sampled, so artists could use samples from a variety of sources without legal troubles. They were capturing samples from various genres ranging from jazz to rock music. However, sampling was not limited to music. RZA and of the Wu-Tang Clan sampled sound clips from his collection of 1970s kung fu films. Now, y'all know RZA was real big on that. Y'all know he always was kind of like into that kung fu stuff. And when you think about the Migos, you will see what I'm talking about, because it's just like the Ecclesiastics in the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. So we learn from each other, okay? And that's where I get from the Migos. Hold on. This is Migos. That was Wu-Tang in the previous picture. Y'all know, just like any other brand of people or any other thing, people learn. So these boys grew up watching Wu-Tang Clan and all them, and that's where they learned from, okay? Okay, so hold on. One of the definitive characters of hip-hop was the heavy use of sampled music. Okay. Clan sampled sound clips from the collection of the 1970s kung fu films. The lyrical content of hip-hop developed as well. The early rhythmic chants of the 1970s progressed into metaphorical lyrics exploring a range of subjects. Artists also performed the lyrics over a more complex, multi-layered instrumental arrangement. Artists such as Mel Mel, KRS-One, Rakim, let me pull up everybody, guys, and Warp 9 were pivotal in advancing hip-hop lyrics in the art of rapping. There was also a wave of new school rappers who were pivotal in bringing hip-hop to the mainstream. At the forefront was Run DMC, a hip-hop trio who fused rap with hard rock. They took rap into the top 10 where they collaborated with Aerosmith on a rap remake of Walk This Way. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I do. The single conquered the radio and MTV, catapulting rap even further into the mainstream. Some other innovators in the age of hip-hop were J, Public Enemy, the Beastie Boys, A Tribe Called Quest, excuse me, guys, and many others. It wasn't just the music propelling hip-hop culture. Hip-hop fashion also hit the mainstream. Y'all see the way they dress, right? Various artists' shoes, clothes, accessories, and hairstyles became a form of expression. Let me get some of Salt and Pepper. They're not mentioned, but they are. This is a part of the way the females are, because you know these were their counterparts or their female versions, and this is them. And let me get MC Lyte for y'all too, because she was a fly one too. That's MC Lyte. She's still around today. In case y'all had any confusion, that is her. And that is her hair, because we did used to style our hair like that. Y'all know what we had. I had to take y'all back, okay? I had to take y'all back. I got another one for y'all, too. Look at that. That's another one. That's MC Lyte. You got Queen Latifah. I don't know who that is right there. Foxy Brown was my girl. And Lil' Kim, when she was in the blonde fit, that's Lauryn Hill. But let's go back to the guys. Street slang, later known as Ebonics, also crossed over into mainstream. So street slang, rap, the clothes, the gear, all of that is connected. All right. For example, the words bling and foshizzle have been added to the Oxford English Dictionary. Now we're going to sampling and copyright laws. Rap music heavily used sampling in the early 1990s. Original copyright owners of the music being sampled heard parts of their songs in new rap music. They didn't like other artists cashing in on their work and wanted compensation for the use of their music. After many legal actions, the government passed several copyright enforcement laws. They require artists to clear all samples in advance to avoid lawsuit. So, for example, you know the song Meg Stallion got my man, my baby, my baby. Okay, that came from Total. Okay, and I will show y'all Total at the end. However, clearing samples was expensive and many record labels could not afford to clear all the samples. Hip-hop music took a whole new direction and producers had to make original sounds rather than relying heavily on samples. We heard a different sound because the producers were no longer sampling commercially released songs. As a result, the music lost much of its jazz and soul influences. They created something different. Mainstream influences. Hip-hop music became even more commercial, becoming the top-selling music genre by the late 1990s. Different regional styles also emerged, such as West Coast hip-hop, gangster rap, southern rap, rap rock, and various other genres. A new wave of artists also emerged, such as NWA. A new wave of artists also emerged, such as NWA, Dr. Dre, Tupac Shakur, Snoop Dogg, the Notorious B.I.G., Nas, Jay-Z, and several others. Take your time to pause it. They're all there. By the end of the decade, hip-hop was an integral part of popular music. It even found its way into mainstream pop and electronic music. In conclusion, hip-hop history has a fascinating story worth exploring more. This cultural movement has seen considerable change and evolution since its inception into the 70s. What began as a local movement intended to provide a haven for African American and Puerto Rican youth in New York City has become a global phenomenon. To this day, hip-hop continues to be a dominant force influencing the culture around the world. So, now, with that being said, we're going to get everything together to say this. We some bad motherfuckers, okay? That's all I'm going to say, all right? Like, I love rap music. I've always loved rap music, okay?
The original
females
divas
are not mentioned, but they are a very big part of it. So what I will do is I will look for information on the first set of female rappers. Because you already know that the men pioneered the way. Now we got to find out about the females. So this is Baby Girl 411. I enjoyed doing this quite a bit. I learned a lot about it, more about my culture, more about what makes us tick as a community, and more about how we've influenced the world. So turn on your favorite hip-hop jam and let it flow, B-boy, B-girl, because that's what you're doing, and that's what you do when the beat break. Put that best dance out there. Love y'all. Christmas coming up. Kiss your family. Tell them you love them. And work off some of that food y'all ate. All right?
Thanks for tuning in.
Health is wealth. Be blessed.